Hello there, part-timers. Once again, this is Anton from Anton Will Bay. Thank you guys for stopping by the collection room. Today, we're looking at some more Guardians of the Galaxy, burning our way through the 31st century of Marvel with issues 21, 22, 23, and 24 of what's probably one of my favorite comic book series. When it comes down to it, I have some old favorites, and definitely Alpha Flight was one of my favorite comic book series, certainly of Marvel, and then Guardians of the Galaxy is right up there as well. I mean, I really enjoyed this series, really thought it was great. It is just in my time period wheelhouse. We got some amazing art going on in this one. We've got the return of Rancor, who's like a weird long lost descendant of Wolverine. You'll see a lot of that kind of stuff in this book, Future Descendants of Heroes. It's just great when you see it. Ooh, is that Columbia House? Oh, I love that stuff. Yes, back in the days when you actually had to buy CDs and join clubs. And of course we did. And that's just how it was back then. But yeah, there's just something very distinctive about the art style of the late 80s, early 90s in Marvel. And I believe this is 91. So yeah, definitely. Ninja Turtles would have been through theaters. This kind of stuff, these kind of t-shirts, you couldn't get these t-shirts anywhere. Only through catalogs like this. You were not going to find these in a store. We've got throwback characters like that's clearly Wonder Man. They call him Hollywood in this future. But you can feel the art, you can feel the vibe, you can feel the era. Even though this is sent in the 31st century, this is totally a 90s book. It just oozes 90s love in this thing. And since I am a child of the 90s, and actually I was born in the 80s, but this would have been my wheelhouse. I would have been 10 when this came out. So definitely my time of loving everything like this. Well, of course, I love it now, but either way, these books were great. It has been a while since I read these. Starhawk has returned. You make the rules. Game Genie. Great type of stuff that you would see. So it has been many years since I read these. It is hard for me to remember exactly the timeline of some of the events, just like Starhawk does. He knows everything because he's lived through it once, or in his case, multiple times. I have only lived and read through all this book at least once, but that has been a few years. You cannibalistic monster, says Nikki. But yeah, it's hard to always remember what the plot line was. I know at some point we've already lost Martinex as the leader, and we are ready to deal with a pretty big confrontation between Starhawk and Alita, as they share an occupied soul / body / consciousness, and they do separate. And I think, if I remember right, we get to the point where Starhawk becomes less of a teammate and more of kind of a villain. Certainly as they fight for control over the body that they share. He does look different than he did in the original. It could be done. It really hack, and if you, the way I sometimes describe it, where Starhawk and Alita share the same like body / space, occupied consciousness. It could be hokey, could be stupid, and I think Alpha Flight did the same thing with like Walter Langowski and Snowbird and things like that. But all in all, I think Guardians handled that topic a lot better. than Alpha Flight did. Not that that should surprise anyone, because Alpha Flight handled a lot of things worse than Guardians of the Galaxy. As I mentioned, Guardians art all through the series maintains a better level of cohesion, and it just looks better than Alpha Flight tended to fluctuate a lot. And man, that is a heck of a splash page. That is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Still oozing the 90s, but wow, absolutely gorgeous. Their art has taken a step towards the grittier aspect here for a second, but like I was saying, the whole series stays consistently good. There's no issue that I'm just like, ugh, that art is bad, unless I get to it and I remember that. But at this point, I don't remember any book that had terrible art. I do remember several issues of Alpha Flight having terrible art. Could it be? Is it Norrin Radd, the old Silver Surfer? So I think they have a new Silver Surfer. I can't quite recall. And I can hear my dogs running amok in the hallway. Issue 24, Silver Surfer, I gotta say, looks way cool with that red robe. Good fashion choice. Vance getting a nice grizzle on his face there, looking good. And yeah, I think we're starting to get into the point where Starhawk, if not a villain, he has at least very much proven himself to not be trustworthy. And honestly, I cannot remember the total fate of that character during this storyline. I know he was one of my favorites when I read it. I also was a big fan of Nikki and Charlie 27. Their romance, which of course didn't ever really go anywhere, but that is what it is. Can it really be him? Can it be the Silver Surfer? The most long-winded comic book character Marvel ever wrote, who just has like boxes and boxes of exposition and story and thought process in every panel he's ever in? Maybe. That is a cool ad. The Manhattan Project. Beautiful panels, beautiful ads even. I can't get over it, how much I love this era of comics. For its ads, for its art. Looks like we're getting a little crossover. We've got, I guess, the new Thor at this point. Galactus, of course, by this point has new heralds, because we're way into that at this point. And now Galactus, and if I remember right, Galactus in issue 25 was pretty cool, and it came with a gloss like chrome cover, as Marvel was prone to do back in the days. But anyway, I just love this series. What more can I say? The breakdown of plot, yeah, it's going to be villains, and I've mentioned that they do at least have consistent villains. They're not always dealing with their own internal problems like Alpha Flight was. And I should probably stop always comparing this book with Alpha Flight. But in my brain, these are contemporaries, because they were two things that were side shoot Marvel projects that I was desperately collecting out of quarter bins and grabbing a whole series for $15. I mean, that's pretty tough to beat. Had to give a little bit more for this one, but I'm still very glad to have it. And I'm very glad that you guys watched this video to get through it. We're about 24 issues in, and I think there is 62 in the series, and I am just very, very excited to get through it. Very happy to have the series back in my collection. Anyway, that's pretty much my story on this. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye, part-timers.